Hey guys, this is Kilo21, aka Kang, and I'm here to talk to you about KWA and KSC. So before Sean sends the RR Hit Squad to take me out, I want to say that this blog isn't actually about KWA's technical abilities, but it's about KWA's branding and how they positioned themselves the way they did right now. Personally, as a business person, I view KWA as a very strong brand with very strong brand equity and good brand value. You can tell because when people enter the industry, aka basically new consumers buying guns for say an EWA game, you see them start flocking to brands like KWA. And that's a sign of really good brand equity and really good brand image, as well as a lack of brand decay. So a lot of companies in Airsoft actually are victims to brand decay, and I feel that KWA has actually done a pretty good job with managing their brand. So let's go over KWA and KSC real fast. So what's the difference between KWA and KSC? KWA is the Taiwanese manufacturer and OEM for KSC. That's right, KSC doesn't make their own guns, they actually just do R&D. KSC is actually a Japanese R&D company, much like Tokyo Marui, but Tokyo Marui at least makes their own guns. So basically, here is a supply chain map of what they did when they first started their contract. KSC did R&D, and KWA had no R&D capabilities at that time, so KWA focused on maintaining economics of scale higher so they could lower cost per unit, and that allowed KSC and KWA to basically thrive and have this really long-term partnership. That economics of scale is just so important in a niche industry, just like Airsoft, that KWA and KSC need each other to survive. They need that extra units that each other sells in order to lower cost per unit and basically make the pennies count, because pennies in an industry is super important. One penny additional per unit could cost you an extra several $1,000,000 down the road. So basically, let's go back to this. KSC did R&D, KWA did manufacturing, then KWA branded to the United States while KSC did branded to Japan and the rest of Asia. That's why you don't see a lot of KWA outside the US. KWA was designed for the US market, as KSC was designed for the Japanese market. Alright, let's go to current day. The current day supply chain structure is a lot different. KWA has recently made strides with what I will talk about later, but KWA now has the abilities to... They addressed basically an opportunity in the market to increase innovation and R&D while partnering KSC, and that allowed them to basically turn out some really solid products, such as the KWA Chris, the NS2 gas system, the LM4, just a decent amount of very solid products. I mean, some of you techs might not agree that they're good products, because we're really picky. Techs are picky, but when it comes down to it, if you plug in the battery and it shoots, it shoots. So the build quality stock for KWA is actually not that bad, especially since KWA is doing their own innovation. Especially, you can see that in their two-piece hop-ups, and you can see that in their NS2 and their sister KSC's System 7. KSC actually got the System 7 from KWA, from what I hear. So that, or it's either a joint project, because I have not seen one company claim it So basically, anyways, back to this. KSC does not actually do R&D anymore. Basically, they're just wholesaling now. They literally just wholesale to Asia. They don't do R&D anymore. They never had manufacturers. So KSC does send some technology up to KWA, and KWA does all the manufacturing. That's why KWA is alone right here, and that's where KWA makes money. They make money off of OEMing from KSC. KSC then focuses on the Japanese market as a wholesaler, and then KWA focuses on the US market. So that's why you don't see a lot of KSCs in the US, and that's why you don't see a lot of KWAs in the Asia and Pacific. So let's go over engineering perform. What does engineering perform really have to do with anything? Engineering to outperform is essential to how KWA positioned themselves as a company. You cannot deny how well KWA has positioned themselves in the market. With engineering to outperform, it shows that they have higher quality. It's a quality queue, it definitely is, and it begs to make you think. It begs. I don't know the phrase, but basically it says that their guns are ready. Ready for what? Lipo ready. So I know you all are gonna be like, "What? He said Lipo ready, kill him!" But no, I personally think that Lipo Ready is just a marketing scheme, and it is. It really is. All these techs will agree with me that Lipo Ready is a marketing scheme. I'm not going to go over that common fact, but I'm going to go over Lipo Ready as a marketing tool. Lipo Ready was a marketing tool developed by KWA to push lipos, to push an untapped portion of the market that wanted higher performance, that wanted that extra little millisecond trigger response. Basically, Lipo Ready was for the user that was more serious. Previously, before Lipo technology started taking off, it was all about the nickel cads and nickel metal hydrides and other batteries, and that just wasn't doing it for some people. So Lipo started exponentially growing as an industry. Basically, the lithium industry started growing, as well as the innovations. The innovation was moving from incremental to technological, and Lipo Ready just came from KWA. Didn't really come out of nowhere, and a lot of techs freaked out about it, because why? Lipo Ready is a false notion that a gun needs to be worked on or whatever because it's going to run a lipo. Most techs will agree that lipos are in fact not any more stressful depending on your milliamperage and C rating. KWA in fact will void your warranty if you go over 20 amps. That's a combination of your milliamps and C rating, and that's completely bogus in my opinion. However, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the Lipo Ready thing. Sorry. So what did Lipo Ready do for the consumer? Lipo Ready increased perceived value for the consumer. The consumer saw KWA as a better gun for lower price, quote lower unquote price, and as much as you want to argue it, it's true. So since the Lipo Ready notion came out, new players started flocking to KWA, which increased their brand equity, which reduced the amount of brand decay, if not gotten rid of it. And the amount of value that KWA got out of it can be measured in a perceptual map. Perceptual map is a comparison of basically you have 2 points on the map. This is just an XY graph, right? So, and you can map your competitors according to the two qualities. So here I have performance and durability, two completely different things. You can have durability like TM here, but you could be lacking performance. Performance being, of course, the really cruel measurements of FPS, joules, range, etc. So Okay, TM might be moved a little bit up because they have incredible range for such a low FPS. But here I have Linux and Lonex and Deepfire up top. Echo One, of course, super hardcore presses performance. JG, I wanted some less durability, less performance, so JG is here, almost in the middle. D-Boys is all the way down here because LOL D-Boys. And Sima, according to Sean, should be off this map that way, but no, Sean, no. But anyways, so here is the pre-Lipo Ready in comparison to everything else as what I saw them as at the time before they started announcing that Lipo Ready bull honky stuff. Yeah, so I personally thought that they had decent amount of performance but less durability. But with this can also be seen as the consumer's perception without the Lipo Ready notion, or without knowing about Lipo Ready. So as soon as they hear the word Lipo Ready, as soon as they receive that notion that the gun is better, with various awesome marketing tactics, the KWA basically shifts over to increased durability with the same amount of performance, give or take a 10 or so, right? Like, I know my lines aren't very straight, but basically with the Lipo Ready notion, you have that durability value added on the perceptual, as seen here on the perceptual map, putting them on par with a bunch of different brands in the consumer's mind. Remember that the perceptual map is a very opinionated item that is mostly done differently by everyone. I mean, I could have, say, Rob or Sean or Drew draw up perceptual map, and it'll all be completely different. Drew might hate TM, he might hate Deepfire, and Lonex, he loves Deepfire. Never mind, Deepfire will stay up here for him. KWA, LOL, not even on here. JG, since he's budget minded, he'll increase JG. Echo One is LOL Echo One, and yeah, everyone's perceptual map is different, and that is actually why KWA branded themselves as Lipo Ready. Since perceptual maps are different, consumers think differently. However, a consumer needs to be told, since every consumer thinks differently, the consumer needs to be told what they want and what they need. They will not create value for anything until you tell them what they want or what they need. And KWA told them that they needed lipos, and that they needed a Lipo Ready gun. And that's how KWA is one of the strongest marketing brands in the airsoft industry. This is KWA should not be KWA engineered to outperform. KWA should be KWA, a successful marketing company. Thanks, guys.